come and help me, please. I need somebody to turn the pages for me. Somebody come. Where are you? I can't see anything yet. Oh, there you are. You work here? Yes. I thought you were bleeding. That's all. They must have fertilized you a lot. So what can I do for you? Oh, yes, I called you in, yeah. I'm sorry. Don't go by this. Don't go by that. Very interesting. This 200 years from back, the time it was 200 years ago, at this day. Oh, yeah. Now, you said you work here?
Yes.
What do you do?
I call the lights.
No, I said you said you work. So what do you do?
I call the lights.
What do you call the lights? What happens if the lights don't come when you call them? I do. Long time no see. Are you afraid your hand will fall off? Well, the same on the back of it. Oh, now I remember. Would you be kind enough to turn the pages? I had a problem there. I should have had a book with the hand. Loose sheets are very difficult. Nice fellow, a little dopey, but he's silly. When I'm playing, of course. Okay. Neggy, neggy. Apparently you don't read music. I'm sorry, we'll do another one. We'll do a slow one, which gives me a chance to tell you what to do and what not to do, and particularly where not to do it. This is a night. No, please. Chinese egg rolls. Ah. Here it says PP, but don't pay attention to that. Have to explain everything. That means pianissimo. That is an Italian abbreviation for very soft. Piano, pianissimo. Just the opposite of something else. When I say now, you will be kind enough to turn this single page. Just the one, sing the page. Whoop, like this. Whoop. The what? Whoop. Whoop. I can't hear you. Whoop, whoop. Go what? Whoop. Whoop. Why do you say that? Whoop. And I say, now you turn this single because I go here. Then I come over here and I play it down to about here where it begins to be difficult. One piece. This is Liebestraum by Flist. It's a nice piece. Hope you will enjoy it.
Excuse me. It's F list.
That's what I said, Flist.
No, it's F list.
F list, young man, is Flist. You don't say M Mozart. Would you put a foot on one of those things there? No, the first one, closest to you. That's it. Press down, like this. Very good.
Could I come in and hear you play?
Yes, come right in.
Oh, terrific!
Be quiet. Yeah.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I'll be real quiet.
Very good, very good.
What are you going to play?
I'm going to play some Beethoven. I'm playing the Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven.
Oh, go ahead, yes.
I don't think you would like it.
Why?
See what it says here? Con molto tedioso.
What does that mean?
That means the great dullness. I don't think you would like that. Not the way you came in there. Yeah, that's it.
Don't go, please, for me.
Okay, you have to be quiet.
Okay. Shh.
That's the Spanish composer, El Beethoven.
You made a mistake.
No, that's the way I wrote it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Borge.
Is it all over?
That was fascinating.
you think that was fascinating? Well, you can come back later and watch me tie my shoes.
I'd like to take you to the piano now and show you how a modern composer today composes a modern song hit. He will have on the piano a batch of music, some old, some new, all kinds of music, a pair of scissors, and some glue in a big bowl like this. And now I would like to show you how to compose a song hit, we hope, in a jiffy. Let us take, for instance, Brahms on top here. Johannes Brahms, J. Brahms. There's a lively one. Ah, that's too slow. Tchaikovsky, Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. This is something. That's a little too dangerous. Now, Schubert, Franz Schubert, the wonderful composer. He was a very poor composer. He wasn't a poor composer, he was a poor man. He was a fine composer, and here's his Serenade. Nay. Well, I always have my glasses with me. You see, these are very lovely glasses. They're cut here, like Benjamin Franklin's, because I don't need glasses, so I can see over them when I look at them. But for now, I can get along without them anyway. That's a lovely theme, and nobody will know that. So we will cut out a little of this. That'll never be popular. You know, make it so that nobody will recognize it. Fine. Now we have a little glue here. Now, for our next edition, a little Debussy, Claude Debussy, the French composer by the same name. Claude Debussy, unfortunately, is dead, as you probably have heard. And I sincerely hope he is, because they buried him quite a few years ago. According to Ed Sullivan's column, of course. Incidentally, that also happened to Mrs. Debussy, I'm sorry to say. The whole family, gone. They were lovely people, fine people, but that's the way it goes. Well, I don't care, I have my own problems. I didn't even know them. But I happen to know a couple who live here in New York, an elderly couple who knew them very, very well. They were very close to them like this, and they've known them for years. And they have told me all about it. It's very interesting to hear people sit and talk about such greatness being so far remote from them. They really knew them well. Lovely. They hated them. Knew them well. Debussy. No wonder. Now we have a little Shostakovich. Shostakovich. Just a moment. We'll find it. Now here's a little Mozart, the greatest of them all. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Before I play this, I would like to show you a collector's item I have here. Many few people, very few people, which is the same as many few people, we'll get into French in a minute, envy me this little collection here. This, ladies and gentlemen, in this little box is the first note that Wolfgang Mozart ever wrote in his life. Isn't that the cutest thing? Can you see it? Well, it doesn't matter. It's here anyway. And this is a B. Think of that little cute Mozart. This is the first note he ever wrote. And here I have, in the other hand, or now in the same hand, the last note Mozart wrote after 30 years in composing. Isn't that something? I'm thrilled with these two things. The second note is a C. And this is the last Mozart ever wrote. In other words, I have from his first note to his last note. Actually, I don't think he went very far, do you?
by my window, the autumn leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, sunburned eyes by you. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves are gone. The wind is by my window, the autumn leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, summer kisses, your sunburned hand I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves
Tonight, we take pride in demonstrating for the first time the phenomenal discovery of the time window. The time window was developed by an obscure network vice president who was dozing one night before his television set and inadvertently short-circuited his remote control switch by dropping it into a plate of 100-year-old turtle soup. And to his amazement, this gentleman found himself watching a Civil War movie with the original cast, an event that occurred exactly 100 years ago. Well, tonight, through the miracle of the time window, we present the first in our new gallery of television portraits of colorful geniuses and historic figures of a century ago. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as you gaze into the time window, we take you to the home of the eminent Hungarian composer Franz Liszt. And in so doing, we set television back 100 years. Are you there, Mr. Liszt? Mr. Liszt, are you there?
I certainly am, Mr. Wallace. And how are you, Mr. Wallace?
I'm fine, thank you. And how do you feel, Mr. Liszt?
Oh, I feel wonderful because Anderson doesn't upset my stomach.
We've been admiring your splendid home, all the stately chambers, mammoth furnishings, and I was most impressed with your beautiful formal garden. I noticed the geraniums coming up the front walk.
Are those darn geraniums coming up the front walk again?
Mr. Liszt, would you please tell us just a little bit about your exquisite home? For instance, the interesting pictures on the wall over there.
Oh, yes, I'm glad you asked that, Mr. Wallace. This is what I call my composer's corner. These are the composers of my most favorite compositions, I may say. There I am, 6 years old. There I am, some years later. Here I am, 10 years from now.
Mr. Liszt, is that a piece of music you have framed there on the wall?
No, that is the piece of music I have framed there on the wall. This happens to be my first composition. It is not a very impressive composition, but it is a very important composition. May I play it for you, Mr. Wallace?
Please.
I told you it was not very impressive, but it is important. Here it is. Yeah. Well, I told you, but it is very important because if we hadn't written this, we would never have had this.
I understand. Mr. Liszt, while you have conquered the world with your pianism, to say nothing of your composing, to whom do you feel that you owe all your success?
My mother. She was a very, very lovely woman. Even her name was lovely. Christmas was her name. Christmas Liszt.
With your permission, sir, I wonder if I may change the subject. Everyone is interested in the amours of a great artist. It's common knowledge that you have known many women in your lifetime. Now, without going into details, of course, would you care to comment on your relationship with the fair sex?
Mr. Waters, which one is that? The women, you mean?
Yeah.
Mr. Wallace, I have been chased by beautiful women in every country. The terrible price the artist has to pay for the art. I have played all over the world. Piano, of course.
Is the lady whom I see in the love seat beside you, Mrs. Liszt, by any chance?
The lady you see beside me in the love seat is not Mrs. Liszt, and she hasn't got a chance. Let's just say that she's an old friend and drop the subject. I keep her here for balance.
Franz Liszt, have you ever thought of writing an opera?
No, frankly, I haven't. But I met
Joe Green yesterday on the street, and this is very interesting.
Joe Green?
Yes, Joe
Oh,
Green.
you mean Giuseppe Verdi?
Oh, that's his stage name. We met, and he suggested something about Aida. I don't even know her. No, I wasn't interested in anything like that.
Well, you might be interested to know, Mr. List, that there is now a movie in our country based on your life.
Is that so?
Yeah.
What's the name of that?
It's called Song Without End. It covers your entire brilliant career. And you certainly did have a brilliant career.
Yes, except for that very, very bad year, 1887.
Well, what happened in 1887?
I died.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's life.
But you certainly did have a brilliant life. All of those triumphs. As the flower of the musical world, Mr. List, with all of that adulation, I'm amazed that your success hasn't gone to your head.
Well, I'll tell you... Excuse me just a second. I'm a chain sniffer. Mr. Wallace, I have, in my youth, been very conceited. As a matter of fact, I was always very conceited. That has all changed now. Now I'm perfect.
Yes. And it's surprising how you still manage to retain your modesty, sir. You played for royalty many times, did you not, Mr. List?
Yes, I did. But, kings, queens, jacks, countesses, and so forth, they seem to, well, they don't understand my music. But the food is good.
Well, if they don't understand your music, why do you play for royalty?
Because I get 5 extra points when I take a civil service examination.
What is your unbiased opinion, sir, about your contemporary composers? Have you, for instance, heard Johann Strauss' Tales of the Vienna Woods?
No, but I heard a cute one about a musician's daughter. Something like that.
What do you think of Brahms?
Who?
Johannes Brahms.
Oh, Joe Brahms? The fellow from Hamburg? He writes for babies. What do you expect from a hamburger?
Chopin?
Well, he used to be a good friend of mine, but he got in with a bad crowd. He was running around with this woman. What was her name? What was her name?
George?
Are you trying to be funny, maybe?
I'm sorry, sir, but her name was George.
You're sick!
George Sand.
George Sand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, I apologize, of course. The one who smoked my cigars. Yes. No, the only thing he wrote that ever came in handy was the minute waltz. Because I happen to use it every morning. Before breakfast, I push my piano out in the kitchen, and then I play the minute waltz 3 times, and my eggs are done.
I think, sir, that perhaps you're losing interest in this turn in the conversation. Perhaps we'd better go back to talking about you.
Now you're wising up. You probably know of my Hungarian rhapsodies, number 1, number 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I just wrote the second one, number 2. A little behind with that one, but nevertheless, I should play that for you, maybe.
Will you play us a little of it?
No, I'll play it all. Mr. Wallace, isn't this a gorgeous hand?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Another one like it. Through these fingers has the most beautiful music walked in the world. Walked. I am sorry I cannot play this one alone. It was written for four hands, because that way we get through with it a little faster.
I was going to give you a lesson in a language I have invented, which I call the inflationary language. Everything with numbers in it is going up and up and up, except the language.
I have to explain it this way, that we will add 1 to each number in every word that contains a number. For instance, number 1 in wonderful will be tooderful because we add 1 to it. 4 will be B5. 8 will be C9. Tennis will be 11. A sentence like I ate a tenderloin with my fork
will be a 9th and 11th loin with my fork. I'm going to read to you from a book, just a short chapter, not a chapter, but a paragraph. This is a book written by a Russian author. It's not a very good book, but I don't read the whole thing anyway. He is Ivanovich Volofov Sonovovich. These are short stories, very short stories. The shortest stories that are available, actually, because they're so bad that there was no reason to make them any longer. And he writes, here, for instance, is one about Tchaikovsky. See under Are you laying eggs? See under Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. It says seafood. What? Oh, see footnote. Peter was born in Votkinsk, but never played down in the streets of Votkinsk like the other little children of Votkinsk, because when he was 2 months old, his parents moved to St. Petersburg. That's the kind of stories he's writing. Now I'm going to find the one I'm going to read to you. Twice upon a time, there lived in sunny California a young man named Bob. He was a lieutenant in the Air Fives. Bob had been very fond of Anna, his 1.5 sister, ever since he saw the light of day for the second time. They were proud of the fact that 2 of their 5 fathers were among the creninders of the U.S. Constitution. Now they were dining on the terrace. Anna, said Bob as he took a bite of marinated herring, you look beautiful tonight. You never looked so lovely before. Anna really looked beautiful in spite of the illness from which she had not yet recupernated. Yes, repeated Bob, you look beautiful. But you have 3 of the saddest eyes I have ever seen. The table was tastefully decorated with Anna's favorite flowers, 3 lips. They were talking about Anna's ascertained husband. That's a difficult one. Ascertained husband. You got it? From whom she was separated. They were talking about Anna's ascertained husband from whom she was separated, while on the radio an Irish 11er was singing T53. I didn't get that one. It was midnight, a clock in the distance struck 13. And suddenly there in the moonlight stood her husband, done too. obviously intoxicated, having just had 2, 3 many. Anna, he blurted, "You are no longer my two and only." But Bob jumped to his feet. "Get out of here, you three-faced triple-crosser." But Anna warned, "Be careful, Bob, you're talking to an officer." "Aha," said Bob, "is he 2? I'm 2, 3. Well, I'll wait. "All right," said Don 2 as he wiped his 5 head. "Farewell, Anna, 5 ever and ever. Threedaloo, threedaloo."
What's your name?
Sergio Franchi.
Sergio! Now, I have one big wish. And since, as I said, it is informed to show we can do almost anything that is within decency. May I accompany you to one song?
You play for me?
I love to. What would you like to sing in this case?
It's now or never.
It's what?
It's now or never.
It's now or never.
It's now or never. Right?
It's now or never.
Right.
Oh, I need a page turner. Will you please bring? I don't care what you look like. Just... Come on, help him a little bit after all. You again, huh? Seems that we are... all you do is turn when I not... When I do not, don't turn. Understand?
It's now or never.
Yeah, it sure is. I got never here. Where's now? It won't be now if you don't get ever. There it is. Can you read? All right. Hey. Look at this. This doesn't say, hey! Oh, piano. Hey. Pronto. Take it easy, I mean.
Pronto, man?
Yeah, pronto.
Give me the note, please.
The what?
Note.
Which one?
F.
Get an F.
I want an F on the piano.
I beg your pardon.
I want an F on the piano.
Put it there.
No, I want it da. You know, to stop. Ah, thank you. Is there an F?
No.
No.
Yes, that's it.
Pronto?
No, F.
F.
Wait a minute.
It's now, never. Tango. It's now.
All right.
It's now, never. No, man. I think you better follow me.
Follow you?
Oh, yes, please, follow me.
Lecture.
Thank you. Mimi.
Wait a minute, let me get you right.
Right.
All right.
Tango. Thank you. It's no, never. Come hold me tight. Kiss me, my darling. Let's be mine tonight.
Recently, I conducted the Magic Flute, Mozart's great opera. I found in my research an opera actually written by Mozart, but it said Salieri on it. But it is understood that Mozart actually wrote it, so you can imagine what kind of opera it is, and put Salieri's name on it. Well, anyway, I'll tell you a little about it because it's quite interesting. It is in one act only. It begins with a 45 minutes intermission because it's such a short opera. And when the curtain rises, first you hear the overture, but when the tour is over, the curtain rises, of course. Otherwise, you couldn't see a thing. And on the stage are two large trees. One is on this side and one is on the other side. And that indicates a small forest. Now the tenor comes in. He's supposed to meet his soprano, but she hasn't arrived yet, so he hides behind one of the trees in order to surprise her when she comes in a little later, which she does. And when she comes in a little later, which she does, she can't find him because he is hidden behind the tree. And she doesn't know that. Of course she knows it because she must have seen it during rehearsals. But she pretends. Either that or she's plain stupid. Well, she now hides behind the other tree, waiting for him, but he's there already, so this is a little mess. Now the chorus comes in, but nobody knows why except Mozart, and he's dead. Finally, her father shows up. He's very angry because he just wants to get out of the opera as fast as possible and go home. And he decides that she must die, and she sings her death aria, and that's the end of it. The curtain falls, but not hard enough. And I'll take you to the opera and play for you the overture. First, you hear the conductor's footsteps when he enters the orchestra pit. As a matter of fact, I like to call it the orchestra ditch. That's a little more dignified, I think. Pit. First, you hear the conductor's footsteps when he enters the orchestra pit, or ditch. He walks sideways because it's a very narrow ditch. And this is the overture. This was the first part of the overture. Now you're going to hear the second part, and that's exactly the same. Now this is a blip. The reason for that extra blip is that the fellow who does the blips started one measure too late. Now the curtain rises, and the tenor comes in from that side in a single file. And he goes behind the tree right away. Thank you, I'll tell him. He can't wait. He's anxious to see her. Now, the leading lady comes in. She's supposed to fill the part of the soprano. She not only fills it, she overflows it a little bit. She carries a lot of weight to the opera. Let's put it that way. She's about 4.5 feet tall, lying down. she comes in from that side in a single pile. He goes behind the other tree and surrounds it completely. Well, while you were laughing, the chorus has been in and out, and now a baritone arrives. But he finds out that he's in the wrong opera. So he is fired. And now the father comes in, the Il Basso. Well, how low can a man get? Now she picks it up from there and sings her death aria. She dies by stabbing herself between the two big trees there on the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Vedder. I'm extremely sorry. I have only that one orchestration, so I could not sing another because my accompanist, you know, he's still in Europe. And,
oh, that is just too bad. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go on with the show. Thank you, Larry.
Of course, I would like to sing an encore.
Sure,
yeah, because you know, if you could perhaps, I have no accompanist, but you could perhaps, if you would.
Well, I don't sing, you know. That's it. That's I'm off.
Well, I mean, if you would.
Oh, if I would, yeah, but I don't think the audience wants another one, actually. Must be a lot of people here from Toledo. That's all I can say. Okay, Lawrence, if you want me to, let's step to the piano.
Thank you.
After you, sir.
Thank you.
Lawrence, you know, I haven't accompanied anybody for years.
Well,
now I'm a soloist myself, you know. Well, I shall try. I would like to know, what are you going to sing?
Come Back to Sorrento.
Thank you. Must have been somebody who haven't heard it before. Flowers, you know, when I used to be in accompanist, that I had 3 kinds of accompaniment.
Yeah.
One, I charged $200. That was excellent. That was brilliant. Of course, you could hardly hear the singer in that one. And I had one for about, I would say, $150. That wasn't so hot, you know. You know, what can you do with one hand after all? Then I had one for $100. For that one, I know that one, and I know that one, yeah.
Which one do you wish? Oh, I leave it up to you, what you think.
Okay. Won't cost you much tonight. Okay. May I hear your A, please? I like mine better. Oh, but there's something in the piano that's not supposed to be here. That must be from another show. Would you please take that one? Sorrento? That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't intend now.
Guarda il mare come bello, spira tanto sentimento, come soave accento, e me testo fa sognar. Senti come lieve sale dai giardini d'ordaranti un profumo non vai quale per chi palpita d'amor e tu dici il fatto addio allontani dal mio cuore questa terra dell'amore. Hai la forza di lasciar. Non darmi più tormento, torna sorrento, non darmi morire.
Thank you very much.
Would you please welcome Mr. Shahan Azrouni? That's all that's left of him after the... He used to be a man. Anyway, Shahan lives in New York City with his family and has not been in the United States very long. And he doesn't speak English. He understands a little. Fortunately, I speak a little Turkey, so I can understand. He understands me, and I. How's everything? We will play together because the time is very precious. We don't have much time. Otherwise, we would play two pianos, but we cut it down to one piano. We will play the second Hungarian Rhapsody by Liszt. The second. What happened to your arms? It reminds me of Mozart. Merlin has sung in many operas and has also not sung in many operas. Also not sung in many operas. Yes, sung in many operas and has also not sung in many operas. That's exactly what I meant, and it's exactly what I said. Hands off, please. She has a habit. You shouldn't lean against the pianos, Merlin, because sometimes there might not be a piano next to you when you sing. Maybe a flute player. You can't hang on to the flute. You can't flout the flute. Merlin is celebrating, actually, today she's celebrating her second wedding anniversary. Is that true? That's really an event. How long were you married? Oh, 2 years. Yes, I see. That's what it is. Yeah. That's the second anniversary. Hands off, please. What have you chosen to sing for us this evening?
Yes, I'd like to start with a folk song.
Aha. Oh, one of the folk songs your uncle brought from where? Croatia. Yeah, that's right. Her uncle is an archaeologist and has been archaeologizing recently in the very far where Croatia is. And he found in an old monkery in the basement of the monastery. Well, you can say nunnery. Why can't you say monkery? But anyway, that's not my problem. But anyway. Ah, yeah. Hands up, please. Merlin's uncle brought back some manuscripts he found in that, wherever it was. And there are 6 songs, and Merlin sings all 6. Not now, but she knows them all. These are some old folk songs for the old folks, for some old folks. And which one have you chosen to sing tonight, Merlin?
I wasn't sure. What do you think I should start with?
Sing the one you like the most. Oh, yeah. Because I'm going to play the one I like. Pardon? Oh, no, I've tried not to. Merlin, she wants me to say, don't hum along, because you know, musicians, when we play, for instance, you play a concerto, you sit there, and you sing along without really knowing it. You hum, or the violinists, you do all these things. And I have the habit myself, and I must remember that. Hands up, please. This is one of those songs, or 2 of them actually, because and if you don't know the song you're going to sing, don't sing it. You're an opera singer. You should sing opera. Merlin is a cacalatura. And she said, why don't you sing an aria from one of this? You like arias? Wait till you hear what she's going to do. Thank you. When this ovation has died down. What have you chosen to sing then?
Yes, I'd like to sing the Caro Nome from Rigoletto.
Oh, God. All right, for the ones of you who are staying, Marilyn will sing the Kagame, the what? The Kaganomi aria from the opera Rigor Mortis. By all means. Who wrote that, Marilyn?
Giuseppe Verdi.
Why? I mean, why, yes. Why, yes. Why, yes. That's an expression. Why, yes. It's your language. I'm just trying to use it. That's all. Why, yes. Giuseppe Verdi. Joe Green to you. Hands off, please. It should take long. Not if I can help it. Oh, you don't tune up. What's the matter? Don't you know it? Oh, one more. It's mine. Sorry. Finished? We do have an agreement. She doesn't touch my piano. I don't lay hands on her curvatura. You just said that. Twice. I thought you had that fixed. I have a short story right here in the beginning of the book. Page 9. Oh. Page 6. In the open window there suddenly came light. Beautiful Eleanor sat alone, dreaming of but one thing. 2 years had passed since she met Sir Henry. She would still remember the unhappy evening when her father had thrown him out. They had been sitting in the park, and Henry had said, "Darling." Is this the first time you have loved? And she had answered, yes. But it is so wonderful that I hope it shall not be the last. Suddenly she heard a well-known sound. It was he. In 2 strides he was near her, embraced, kissed, and caressed her. Henry! What is love? She asked. He answered, well, I couldn't live without. She asked, I'm sorry, left-handed, where have your thoughts been? And he answered, me, my maiden. Suddenly he had gone. Oops. All she heard. All she heard was the well-known sound of his departing horse. begins to be difficult. One piece. This is Liebestraum by Flist. It's a nice piece. Hope you will enjoy it.
Excuse me. It's F list.
That's what I said, Flist.
No, it's F list.
F list, young man, is Flist. You don't say M Mozart. Would you put a foot on one of those things there? No, the first one, closest to you. That's it, press down, like this. Very good. Long time no see. Are you afraid your hand will fall off? Well, the same on the back over there. Oh, now I remember. Would you be kind enough to turn the pages? I had a problem there. I should have had a book. But Louis, she's very difficult. Nice fellow, a little dopey, but he's silly. When I'm playing, of course. Okay. Neggy, neggy.
Could I come in and hear you play?
Yes, come right in.
Oh, terrific!
Be quiet. Yeah.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I'll be real quiet.
Very good, very good.
What are you going to play?
I'm going to play some Beethoven. I'm playing the Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven.
Oh, go ahead, yes.
I don't think you would like it.
Why?
See what it says here? Con molto tedioso.
What does that mean?
That means with great dullness. I don't think you would like that. Not the way you came in there. Yeah, that's it.
Don't go, please, please, for me.
Okay. Have to be quiet.
Okay. Shh.
That's the Spanish composer, El Beethoven.
You made a mistake.
No, that's the way I wrote it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Apparently you don't read music. I'm sorry, we'll do another one. We'll do a slow one, which gives me a chance to tell you what to do and what not to do, and particularly where not to do it. This is a night. No, please. Chinese egg rolls. Ah. Here it says PP, but don't pay attention to that. That's to explain everything. That means pianissimo. That is an Italian abbreviation for very soft. Piano, pianissimo. Just the opposite of something else. When I say now, you will be kind enough to turn this, sing the page. Just the one, sing the page. Whoop, like this. Whoop. The what? Whoop. Whoop. I can't hear you. Whoop, whoop. Go what? Whoop. Whoop. Why do you say that? Whoop. And I say, now you will turn this single because I go here. Then I come over here and I play it down to about here where it begins. Somebody come and help me, please. I need somebody to turn the page for me. Somebody come. Where are you? I can't see anything yet. Oh, there you are. You work here? Yes. I thought you were bleeding. That's all right. They must have fertilized you a lot. So what can I do for you? Oh, yes, I called you in, yeah. I'm sorry. Don't go by this. Don't go by that. Very interesting. This 200 years from back, the time it was 200 years ago, at this day. Oh, yeah. Now, you said you work here? Yes. What do you do?
I call the lights.
No, I said you said you work. So what do you do?
I call the lights.
What do you call the lights? What happens if the lights don't come when you call them? I do.